Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jordan, and today I'm going to be reacting to the lowest rated books that I have read on Goodreads. I did already do a video where I reacted to the highest rated books on Goodreads, and that one was unexpected, but not in the way that I was expecting. I will link that video. If you haven't seen it already, go ahead and check that out. But I think the premise is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up my Goodreads. I have not already looked, but I'm going to sort all of my read books by lowest rating to highest rating, and I'm gonna see if I agree with all of those low ratings or if I have rated some of those books higher and think that they are underhyped. So I'm going to start my screen record, and then I will open up Goodreads, go to my books, my read books. The last time I was in here, I had sorted, already sorted average rating. This is highest to lowest, so I'm going to go ahead and reverse that. So I'm looking at the lowest rated books before I see anything, books that I would predict on here. Let's see if I can pick any out. Probably some mystery thrillers are very polarizing, and so while they might have some high ratings, they probably also have some low ratings based on if it's a polarizing ending or something. Other than that, I don't know if I have any predictions. Okay. Yes, okay, the first one is Model Land by Tyra Banks. I read this book for a video where I read fictional books written by celebrities, and for that video I definitely expected for all of those books to be pretty bad, and this one was pretty bad. As you can see, I rated it 2 stars. It has an average rating of 2.99. What this book is about, if you're interested, it's a young adult fantasy book. Let's see if I can remember all the details, but it's about this society where girls are chosen to go to this like academy to become models, and it's the typical trope of our main character is very average. She didn't think she would be picked. She's not really model material, but she gets picked to go to this academy anyway. Yeah, this was just super cheesy, not well written. It has 2,697 ratings on Goodreads and an average of 2.99. Anything less than 3 on Goodreads is very bad. Anything less than 3.5, I would say, usually gives me some reserve from picking up a book. The next one is called Not All Migrate by Christina Byers. This is a book that I read on NetGalley, so I read it as an ARC before it came out. This is in the running as possibly the worst book I've ever read, which is kind of a big statement. This is a contemporary book, I guess, about this man whose wife dies, and he finds out that she was on drugs before she died, and so in going to search for what happened to her, he gets addicted to the same drugs, and it's basically one big trip throughout the book. It's weird. It did nothing for me. It only has 17 ratings on Goodreads, so clearly the book didn't really go anywhere, but I definitely agree with its low rating, and I gave it 1 star. Next we have One Nation Under Taught, which is a nonfiction book about America's education system. I was actually pretty excited about this book when I read it, or I was excited to read it because I was hoping it would have a lot to do with like STEM and the future of STEM, but from what I remember, it kind of was a big advertisement for this author's program in schools. So I rated it 2 stars, only has an average rating of 3.09. The next one is Catherine House. Interesting. This is a book that I would have expected to be lower. I don't know if I expected it to be the lowest, popular book to be on this list, but it has an average rating of 3.11. And there are some people on BookTube who I know absolutely loved this book and gave it 5 stars. I, however, did not. I gave it 2 stars. This is a kind of science fiction-y book, I guess, about this girl who goes to this very secluded and secretive school, university, that has all kinds of rules, and she gets some weird vibes from it. I just found it boring until the ending, and then it was disappointing at the ending. So I think people's enjoyment of this book comes from if you like weird, slow, and somewhat unexplained books. You might like this one, but the low average rating says that most people apparently have not liked it. The Science of Harry Potter. Gonna go quickly through this one, but it's a nonfiction book sort of explaining the science and seeing if the magic and magic system in Harry Potter is realistic. I think I was hoping that more of it would be considered realistic, but it's magic, so it's not real. So I was kind of disappointed by the book, I guess. Let's see, Again is a contemporary book I read on NetGalley. One book I did love by this author is called We Were Liars. It's a young adult mystery thriller. However, this one was a young adult contemporary that just didn't do anything for me. It was kind of similar in my opinion to like The Fault in Our Stars type books. So maybe if you really enjoyed that book, you might really enjoy this one. Like I said in my review, I think it really would work for the right reader. I was just not the right reader. I gave it 3 stars, so not terrible, but definitely not great. Leave the World Behind is a mystery thriller. I did kind of expect to see this one on there. I didn't love it. It's very short, abstract, weird, ambiguous ending. Gave it 2 stars. I'm seeing more mystery thrillers on here. Those People, The Silent Wife. Just disappointing. The Silent Wife specifically, I rated 1 star because it made no sense. There was no point to the whole entire book, in my opinion. Ghost at a Watchman is a sequel to To Kill a Mockingbird, which actually was in the highest rated video, and so kind of interesting that its sequel is in this lowest rated, but also not that surprising because I also didn't think the sequel was very good. I think the general consensus is that the second book didn't really need to exist. We've got another book written by a celebrity, Lauren Conrad's LA Candy. This is a YA contemporary book. I don't actually remember the entire premise. I think it has something to do with like a reality show, which makes sense because Lauren Conrad came from reality TV. It just didn't make for a very great book. Imposter Syndrome is kind of interesting. This is a book that I recently read from Book of the Month. It's a science fiction-y contemporary type book about these 2 women who work for the same tech company in Silicon Valley. One of them is a Russian spy and the other one is kind of figuring out that something is weird with the first character. I was so excited for this book, but I was so disappointed by it, and apparently so are other readers. Even though not that many people have read it in general, only 3,449, but 3.35 average rating. Like I said, anything less than 3.5 would make me a little bit concerned to pick up a book in the first place. The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay is kind of similar to Leave the World Behind. It's vague, weird, atmospheric, unexplained. Some people on BookTube really like it, so a little bit surprised to see it on here, but I agree with the consensus. And then maybe the first one that I would say I disagree with, A Deadly Inside Scoop by Abby Collette. This is a cozy mystery, which is definitely not a genre that I have a lot of experience in, but I tried it out because I think this cover is adorable. I liked the premise. It was about this woman who owns an ice cream shop. She opens it in the middle of winter, which is a little bit questionable because she lives in a place that gets snow, and so not that many people are looking to buy ice cream, but anyway, she ends up in the middle of a murder in her town. I actually liked it. I gave it 3 stars, so clearly I didn't love it, and again, I think that goes back to me not being a cozy mystery person in general, but I didn't think it did anything wrong, so I would probably recommend it to other people who like cozy mysteries. Let's see, kind of scrolling rapid fire, let's see if there's anything that I really strongly disagree with. Golden State would be one that I definitely disagree with. This is a dystopian book about this society where people can't lie or are not supposed to lie. It's against the law to lie, and we're following an enforcer of that law. I don't know, I thought this book was really good. It has an average rating of 3.49, so just teetering on that edge of what I would consider a bad rating on Goodreads, but I give it 4 stars and have good memories of it. And then the next one that I see, probably the last one I'll talk about, is Bring Me Back by B.A. Paris. This is a mystery thriller. I honestly don't remember the general premise of it, but I do remember the plot twist, and I liked it. It's one of those things that if you see it coming, you probably won't like it, but I didn't see it coming, so it surprised me, and I love a good shocking twist. So I give it 5 stars, but that's all I'm gonna go through today. So let me know if you have also read any of the books that I talked about, if you agree with their low ratings, or if you think they should be rated higher. But otherwise, that is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.